All right, welcome to Chapter 6 of Hunter the Vigil. This may or may not be the last session of the game, depending on how far we get. Just a quick recap, because it's been almost 2 months since we played. The last time you were together, you were in a club in Denver called Club Confession. And in this club, you were attempting to find some information about what you assume are called the changelings in Glenwood Springs, right? So you went there and through some misadventure, eventually found who you were looking for. Unfortunately, one of the owners of the club was a changeling and attempted to harm you. And so in that scene, she fled through a mirror that was conveniently in her office. You all stepped through to give chase after a quick phone call to Miranda, which was actually answered by John, Jacob's uncle. Okay, so you all go through this mirror and come out on the other side, and you're on this small path that leads into this old, dilapidated looking town, as you can see on the screen. It looks like it's out of place for anything that you might have ever seen, except for Lance, because Lance has been here before. As you are walking, you notice Barb kind of like step forward, but at the same time, you see a arm kind of like reach through what you assume is the mirror and grab her by the shoulders, two arms, and kind of pull her back. And then Barb disappears. So go ahead and feel free to roleplay your reaction to all that and this.
Jacob just looks to the other, well, I guess probably just Ian at this point because of Walrus Man, and just kind of wide-eyed. Did you just see Barb? And kind of like trails off.
Got pulled back through. What the hell's going on? I don't know what the hell's going on. What's real right now, man? I'm just rubbing my eyes, and my pupils are super dilated.
And Lance is going to immediately turn around after seeing Barb get pulled back through, and he's looking for a way back to go get Barb. I mean, is there an opening? Is there?
You are looking. Nothing is apparent to you. It just looks like the sky.
What the fuck just happened? Where did Barb go?
I don't know. I saw the hands come out and pull her back through. I didn't have time to do anything.
If you want to roll, if anybody wants to roll like a, let's see. Let's say a wits and investigation. They may.
Sure. What?
Damn, man.
Sometimes you get lucky.
Well, Ian got it regardless. Ian notices that the hands that kind of grabbed her had a bunch of gaudy, and Lance notices this too, a bunch of gaudy rings on it. And you kind of recognize that from the hands, and Ian specifically, the hands of Gimli, the biker, who did punch Ian in the face with those same hands.
Oh, man. God damn it. Well, I don't think Barb's in any real danger, but she's probably not in great hands either.
Not in any real danger. How the hell do we know that? This is all getting too crazy.
The shithead biker pulled her back through. I don't think they're doing anything to her. Oh man, I'm tripping.
The whole thing is insane. All of it's insane. We've got to get out of here.
There is, you notice the road at your feet starts there, and then goes forward towards that massive castle in the distance on the mountain.
God damn it.
So we going for a walk, Walrus Man?
Listen, I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't ask for this to happen. I don't know what's going on. I just know that we need to get out of here.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't volunteer nothing. Spit on the ground. Well, unless you got any better ideas, I think we should follow the yellow brick road.
God damn it. Fine, let's go.
And Jacob gives a nod. He's ready.
Yep. So you head over this little bridge where the water is there, and you get on the other side, and one of the doors open, and these three old ladies, old men, maybe, come out with this basket of fruit. Oh yes, oh yes. Hello, welcome back, welcome back. I see you are looking very well. And they kind of like hop around kind of where you are, and oh yes, would you care for some fruit?
God damn it. Listen, I don't know what's going on here. You people just need to leave us alone. We're trying to find our way out of here. Unless you can point us to the way out, just leave us alone.
And what are the rest of your... I mean, these...
have...
Yeah.
They seem fairly harmless, right?
Yeah, they're not armed or anything. They look like old women, like very strange looking old women or men. Very drab clothes, like gray, very baggy.
Well, I have a Colt, so can I roll it?
Yeah, you can roll.
Oh, no, I don't. Never mind. I didn't take it. I forgot. So yeah, Jacob doesn't really say or do anything, but he does take a few steps with his rifle, not accepting any of it.
And they're like, goblin fruit, the more you eat, the more you toot. And they kind of like offer, like, they go walk over to Ian and like stick this fruit up at him, at his face. What is Ian gonna do?
Slap that shit away.
You slap it away, and
Get that
it,
shit away from me.
yeah, it just like splatters on the ground, and you can tell, like, it looked like real red and like voluptuous and sweet, and when it hits the ground, it just like turns into this black ichor and kind of splashes everywhere. And they kind of chitter.
Trying to give me fucking poison, this little beast, Lance.
Goblin fruit, make you strong.
I don't know if it's poison. I ate some when I was here before. But look at me now, so who knows?
You look good. You look good.
Hey man, you're a fucking freak. I don't think I'm gonna touch that stuff. I'm looking at my hands shaking.
And they walk over to Jacob and they're like, goblin fruit? And they kind of extend it towards Jacob. What is his reaction?
He just shakes his head, doesn't say anything.
And they like frown and kind of like hop around, and they kind of look over their shoulder and they go, they kind of like chittering in a language you don't quite understand, and they kind of like flee. back into their house. And instead, you see walking up behind them from that tree in the distance a woman with red eyes. With a long flowing gray dress.
I don't know who this is. She wasn't here the last time I was here.
Fuck, she is now. I
And
understand.
she seems like fairly far distance, but then she says, "You don't remember me? I think that we had a conversation."
Oh, it's you from my dream in the woods, the cave.
And she just shakes her head. "You promised me." That's all she says for the moment.
I promised you. I promised you something. What did I promise you? I promised I would help if you could get me out. If you could help me find my friends.
And you escaped, did you not?
I did escape.
And I am still here.
Listen, lady, I don't know what you want. We don't even know what we're doing here. We came in after someone, but they've disappeared. One of our friends has disappeared. We just need to get out of here.
Why don't you roll presence or how about expression and presence? You need 2 successes.
And Perez.
So she shakes her head and "I don't want to hear any more of your troubles. I helped you once, and you did not return the favor as you had promised." And she kind of walks around you in a slow circle. And as she passes Lance, she kind of reaches out and puts a hand kind of on his shoulder and kind of lets it caress his back as she walks around.
He recoils and kind of pulls away, brushes her off.
And she looks at Ian and she says, "What about you? Do you think you can help me?"
I don't know that I want to, lady. You like bad fucking news.
"I only want to escape this place."
I don't know. Looks like this place fucking suits you, to be honest. You and this guy here, pointing to Lance.
And she smiles slightly. "Oh, he is about to become a permanent resident, no doubt."
Listen, lady, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not going to become a permanent resident here. We're getting out of here. Are you going to help us? If you help us, and we'll help you. How about that?
That's what you said last time.
Well, this time I brought friends.
"Oh, yes, they look quite strong." She just chuckles. And she walks around towards Jacob. She kind of is just meandering towards him, and she's like, "You look like you have potential, boy."
Hey, you need to back the fuck off from him, lady.
I guess he stops stepping back once she actually addresses him, probably freezing in place, and says, "What do you mean?"
"I can see certain things. This might be your calling, to help me escape, that is. You see, there is going to be a invitation given to you very soon. And I want to come along. This is the last chance you get to help me."
An invitation from who? To go where?
Oh shit! I'm already thinking about because Ian's been through an experience with parties.
Yeah, and
Starting to
Jacob
seem familiar.
Jacob says, "Is it an invitation to some party?" Alluding to what has happened to him previously.
I don't know about a party. Probably from her perspective, perhaps it is a party. And as she's like talking, and as she says that, you see down the road this carriage with a single horse and this ornate black and white carriage kind of clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, comes forward, and you see the driver seated on the bench in the front. And some of you might recognize him.
Oh no!
God damn.
Oh shit!
And he kind of pulls up the reins, and she says, they're here. And he has like a scroll in his hand that he extends off the bench towards you. You guys are probably 6 feet away, so you can...
Not him again. This has to be a nightmare. This is a bad dream.
Yeah, we'll play along so we can get the hell out of it. Walk over and reach for the scroll.
You take it, and it's sealed with fox wax. Like the wax is, the seal is made in a fox emblem. And it holds the scroll together.
Yeah, thanks for that skull face. And walk over and... Alright, let's see what this says. Go ahead and unwrap it and wait for them to all come around. Because I can't read. No,
Jacob's right there.
You break the seal and read it, and it essentially states, young Ian and Jacob and my child Lance, I invite you to a special rendezvous of my court. Please, let my butler bring you, and we shall have a finale at last. Reclaim your names, reclaim yourself if you wish, but this last test you must endure. And then it says at the bottom, sincerely the White Queen.
God damn it.
Well, does anybody feel like walking? No? Guess we're getting on this then.
I don't want to do
Jacob
this.
does not want to walk.
Oh, God, I don't want to do this. But it looks like this is our only way out of here.
Damn, Lance, you should feel right at home. All these freaks look like they're right up your alley. Spit on the ground.
The lady with the red eyes says, you must convince him to take me along. I wasn't invited.
What for? Why do we care?
I can help you where you're going.
Yeah, Jacob was already. I was just about to ask if she had gotten odd. So Jacob does say, like, to Ian, I think she can help us. We should bring her.
And I'll raise eyebrows. I was like, you sure? We already got one weirdo.
Yeah, but she's a lot less weird than him.
God damn it. I didn't ask for this.
Only 'cause of the teeth. Oh. Tooth, right. Alright then, well, you gonna talk to this fellow over here or what? I'm not very good with words.
Yeah, the butler's just looking at you through his deer skull face, or horse skull face, I should say.
I mean,
we've got to get where we're going, and she needs to go with us. So you need to take her along with us to the White Queen.
He doesn't say anything, but go ahead and roll manipulation and subterfuge.
I was just gonna be like, "You gonna stop us from bringing her?"
Yeah, you're gonna.
Just kick him off and take it. This fucking Grand Theft Caravan this shit and leave. He's a baller.
So
Walrus boy.
the horse-faced driver just nods, and as he nods, you see the woman before you kind of like slowly turn into something like not corporal exactly, and then suddenly her body kind of breaks up into mist, and the mist goes into your ears, into your nose, into your eyes, into your mouth, all simultaneously.
Oh, this was a bad idea.
It's
Like,
all of ours.
Swatting
All
away,
of you.
like there's gnats in the air. He's just swatting, trying to get the mist out of his face.
I don't
And
know.
he-
Jacob just accepts it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you don't feel any different, but
I bet we felt her going in.
yeah, it felt like it felt strange sensation, obviously, but you don't feel like compromised mentally or anything like that.
Ian's just gonna sort of smirk after. I mean, he's gonna be like, "What the hell?" But he's gonna smirk at her. I was like, "Lady, I hope you don't get involved in my nervous system, because I'm taking a bit of a trip right now." All right then.
The carriage
Let's go.
door swings open.
Let's go party, I guess. I miss the goth club pictures, I gotta be honest.
So you enter this carriage, and it's just slowly moving down the road. So you guys can feel free to. Inside, it's there's the curtains basically inside are pictures of foxes and other strange-looking things, like similar to Lance but different. They look vaguely human, but not quite. And as you're kind of going, particularly Ian sees this, but all you do, it almost seems like the images are moving. Kind of like when you looked in the book for the first time yourselves. And they're just like actually kind of playing out a scene as you go.
I'm gonna point that out to everybody for sure, and then slowly start turning the pictures around so there's just the backs of them. So I don't feel like seeing that. I don't trust in that.
God damn it!
Yeah, it's actually on the inside of the curtains, but you could hide it. You could
Oh,
fold it.
okay.
It's
Yeah, we'll just close the curtains or whatever. However we need to do to make the curtains
yeah,
go
just
away.
fold it up, right?
Set them on fire.
What are we gonna do when we get there? What are we?
How am I supposed to know? We don't even know what we're getting into.
Jacob says, "Well, if it's the same as last time, just make sure we win."
And Mist Lady, you know anything about this place? No response, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you do actually. You all kind of hear something with her voice. You're going through Arcadia. The test will be different this time, I think. I can see what happened last time. In your memories, in your mind. Very
What-
different, I think.
What are you talking about? A test? What test?
Ask your friends.
What is she talking about? What tests are we going to be taking?
Ian's just gonna get very dour and just not answer. He's gonna look like down on the ground, deadpan, and expect Jacob, probably look over at Jacob and just...
Yeah, and Jacob sees that and he says, "It's really hard to explain. First, they had us pick these masks, and then it paired us with an individual for some reason, and we would just get transported to this place. And we were completely different people fighting in weird scenarios, but it turned out to be real. And that's, I guess, how we lost our names. And, you know, he says at the end kind of questionably.
You lost, I'm sorry, you lost what?
We all failed in our, any air quotes, game, which caused us to forfeit something to this woman.
What did you have to forfeit?
Our names.
Your fucking names?
They made copies of us.
Wait.
Just like they made a copy of you.
So where are those copies?
That's the question, ain't it?
Well, Jacob smirks and he says, your copy's gone.
The rest of them ain't. Don't know where they are.
I think you're about to find out. And as you're kind of riding along, you kind of get this kind of confused sensation for a moment. And you kind of look around, and now it's not exactly a carriage. You're actually on a bus. And the bus is, you look outside and it looks vaguely familiar. You see the mountains of Glenwood Springs. You see, or the mountains of around the Front Range, Glenwood Springs area. And you're not the only ones on the bus. You see various people sitting in the seats, kind of like, they're just kind of look very, like, almost catatonic, staring forward. And in the front of the bus is not the butler, but a man with a gas mask on and a hood. And he's just like driving down the road.
He can't even blink around here. Jesus.
Yeah, Jacob says aloud, I'm just done questioning it.
Do I recognize any of these people?
You do not. Lance does. He recognizes a woman that came to his hotel a long time ago and was beating on the door. Looks something like this. And she's just sitting in one of the seats. But all the seats are pretty much packed in this dilapidated bus of just normal seeming kind of people.
What? I know that lady. When I first arrived in town, she was drunk and pounding on my door. My hotel, my motel room. And he kind of makes his way towards her. Kind of grabs her by the shoulder. What are you doing here? What the hell's going on?
She like slowly looks up at you and says, Jessica wants to read. Jessica wants to read. Jessica wants to read. Jessica wants to read.
God damn it.
Over and over.
I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm going crazy.
Jacob says, I think this might be what could happen to us.
Ain't gonna let it happen to me. Or you. I'll be dead before they make me do that.
So what is the bus? Does it seem to be taking us anywhere specific, or is it just kind of like driving?
Yeah, you're driving towards Glenwood Springs, clearly. And you're about a mile away at this point.
I guess, do we just stay on this bus and wait till we get there? I mean, are we back? But if we're back, why are these people in this bus acting like this?
They had their names taken, probably.
I'm
We
gonna
ain't
walk
getting
up.
off this bus halfway when it's going across the road.
I walk up to this guy. Stop the bus. Stop the bus right now.
He turns to you and through his gas mask. Why do you want me to stop? Need to get to the sheriff.
The sheriffs.
What? Oh no!
The gas man's gotta get home for the sheriff.
The sheriff. Yes, yes. We need to talk to the sheriff.
And he just turns and looks forward again and keeps driving.
I go back and I let the others know. He says that we're headed to the sheriff.
What?
I don't get it either. I don't understand it either. But he says we're heading to the sheriff's.
And that's gonna prompt Ian to action. He's gonna go up there and... Why are we going to the sheriff's?
He's got something for you to read at the library.
Does this voice sound familiar despite it being through a gas mask?
It's slightly distorted, but why don't you go ahead and roll something? Let's see.
Or I could just
Can I
pull
roll
the
to
mask
the-
off.
Yeah, absolutely. You both could
Yeah.
read. You want to grab his mask off? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, it's... I have a suspicion already. I'm gonna confirm it the fastest way.
You're just gonna
Alright.
rip it off. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. So you, no resistance. You just grab it and rip it off. And looking up at you is your friend, Asher Jackson Howard. And he said, he looks up at you and he's like, "We've got to get back to the sheriff."
What the fuck are you doing here, Asher?
He looks forward and just keeps driving.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna backstep and drop the gas mask and just run one of my hands over my face, distressed.
Holy shit. That's Asher. That's Asher.
I'm gonna work my way back to the bus and sit down where I was at. And just rub my head and temples.
Maybe someone drugged our drinks at the club. Maybe we're... Oh, God. Maybe we're still at the club.
No, this is fucking happening. All this is happening right now, Lance. You look like that. We're on this fucking bus. We're going to the sheriff's house. And whatever fucking fucked up wonderland this is. And I was rubbing my head. Oh, shit.
So Jacob says, lady, are you still here? Like, referring to the mist lady.
Yes, I'm here.
Do you know exactly what's happening? Are we back home?
Oh no, you're still in Arcadia. It is presented in, well, any way she sees fit.
He looks at Ian and just nods, assuming they all hear it.
Yeah, she talks to all of you simultaneously. So you notice that the bus comes into town and pulls over at a, shitty bus stop and, brakes squeal as it comes to a halt, and Asher looks back and says, "This is the last stop."
Well, then let's get the fuck off.
I mean, yeah.
And the people start getting off and kind of just randomly walking out and around town. And you get off the bus and you are basically right in the middle of town.
What the?
And as you get off, you notice that the town looks like it's like 200 years older. None of those cars are there. There's horses hitched up front. And walking down the street is Barb, you're pretty sure, in a cowboy hat. And looks like she's straight out of a Western. And you notice that she has 2 guns on her hips. And she just kind of like tips her hat to you as she sees you.
Ian's gonna raise an eyebrow and just, of all the fucked up shit I've seen in the last couple hours, this has gotta be the strangest piece of shit I've ever seen.
Barb. And he yells up to Barb. Kind of starts waving her down.
She's standing in the middle of the road just looking at you.
Barb, it's us. Where did you go? How did we get here?
I know who you are. The Changeling Gang.
What?
I'm here to put you down.
The Changeling Gang.
Ian's just gonna laugh. Don't think too much into it, Lance. Remember what the girl in our head said. It's just Arcadia. This might not even be Barb. Just a fucking cheap imitation.
Well, whoever it is, the imitation said that she wants to put us down. That doesn't sound friendly.
Ain't happening.
She kind of pulls. She has a long, almost trench coat, and she pulls it away on both sides to show the hilts of her guns. And she's like, "Who's gonna draw against me?"
Jesus Christ.
So there's a question. Do I have my rifle?
You don't think you have. You look. You don't have your rifle, but you look down and you have 2 pistols on your hips as well.
Oh, Jacob draws like a motherfucker.
All right, you're gonna just draw right from there.
I mean, I guess he would like seeing the guns on his hips. He would say, probably something more like, "Probably me."
The kid, huh? I figured it'd be you.
Jacob, you fucking crazy.
He shakes his head and he says, confident.
What the fuck is going on?
Ian's gonna sort of spread out to the side.
So you guys gotta understand. I've seen not Ian, grown up like woodsy, gunsy. He's seen a lot of westerns, and he knows that this is real, but it's not real. And he's got 2 guns on his hip, and this is fate.
Ian's gonna step out to the side a bit, but he's really just looking for an angle to run up and just beat the shit out of Barb.
She's pretty far away at this point.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be stepping off to the side as if I'm clearing the lane for them to duel, but I'm gonna just try to creep up, sort of just inching closely as I'm walking to the side of the road.
I'm just kind of stepping off to the side.
So I can bulldog her if this goes bad for Jacob.
She has like a small thin cigarette in her mouth. She takes a drag and kind of flicks it into the snow next to her and then exhales, and she's like, "Say when."
Man, now I'm just picturing Tombstone in my
head.
You did that on purpose.
So I assume at this point, Jacob probably has like a cowboy hat on his.
Yep.
On his
yeah.
head,
You fit the part. Yep.
Yeah, and he just like with his middle finger like flicks it up, like not off his head, but just up, and just says "Juan" and draws.
All right. So, okay. So what we're gonna do? We're going to do first a. Basically, it's going to be a. Let's see. This is the drawing part. Dexterity and athletics. If you have any talents that aid you, in any of this, please let me know.
I mean, I have a rifle, but technically,
That's your specialty, right?
yeah, it's in my gun. But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you have any things you bought with what is
Oh, Killer Instinct.
Yeah, what does that do?
I'd have to look again. It gives it negates like -2/-2. I think it's armor. It negates 2. Yeah. I guess I gotta pull the PDF up real quick.
Like I said, if Jacob gets
Where's it pinned?
gunned down, I'm going for the bull rush to take her out. So
The PDF, is it not pinned?
Not in the World of Darkness.
Hold on, I'll look it up. Give me 2 seconds.
Sorry,
No,
I
you're
thought I
fine.
put it in the sheet.
Let's see here. No, I'll take that's the World of Darkness book. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure. No, it was here.
Or is it in Hunter?
I'll find it. I sent it to Ghost and I talked about it. It's in our chat.
Don't see it. Individual. All right, there we go.
Oh yeah, it should be in the World of Darkness book. Should be in the regular one you first gave to us.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is.
What page is it?
Or no, I found the.
Oh.
Hold on. Yeah, that's right. What's BTP?
Hmm.
Is that the book?
I don't know what that is. BTB.
Yeah. I didn't realize this had a different. This is like. This might not be. Let's just ignore it, I guess. It's
Well,
just, I can copy paste it real quick.
Oh yeah, just go ahead. Put it in Discord
Oh, in Discord.
or Roll20. I don't care. Says take an instant action size of your cards. Yeah, it's fine.
Except I have 2 points, so it's 2 and 2. But I don't know what the second.
So it's
Armor and defense.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like it's armor. It's either or, not both. So, because it says ignore 1/1 armor, ignore point defense, or convert a point of bashing to lethal. Or is the armor and defense both the same thing?
Well, they're different, right? I mean, they're different things, right? When attacking it afterwards, each dot of this merit can ignore 1/1 armor, ignore a point of defense, or so 1/1 armor would be So you have armor that bashing or lethal, right? So or projectile and melee is actually what it is.
Right.
So,
Okay, so you can ignore, it's just ignoring armor from both sources, basically.
yeah, right.
Cool.
Or you
So-
can ignore 2 points of defense because he has 2 points in the merit.
Mm-hmm. So what we'll do, we'll roll the draw first, and then we'll take this into account. So the draw, if you win on the draw, you get an extra point, extra die.
All right.
So
And it was
dexterity,
Dex
athletics. Yeah, Dex athletics. So Barb needs to roll.
Ooh, it's tense. All 10s or no balls.
Oh,
Oh.
I don't see.
It's in there. It's,
there.
yeah, it's kind of hidden. I had a hard time finding it too.
Oh!
Alright. So you're quicker. So you're both going to shoot, and you can. So she would have no defense because basically she's at a distance. Her projectile armor is 2, so you get to basically take all that away. So basically you're rolling your full dice, and you can use your rifle specialty in place of your pistols.
So 4 damage for my rifle, or so 4 damage for my weapon, right?
Right.
Plus 1 for the specialty.
Mm-hmm. Then
And
your
then-
dex and firearms.
Let's see if I can do this with the weapon. 9. Oh wait, no, I want 10.
You should do firearms.
10.
If it's 10 again, yeah, not 9.
Yeah. Defense armor 0.
And what is your firearms? Probably 1, right?
I gotta roll 1 more. Actually, I gotta roll 4 more.
4 more? Oh,
no,
it rolls it.
It auto
rolls
does
it.
that. It auto does that. So just 1.
Yeah, so you both shoot each other pretty good. So the smoke goes off and you blast each other. Let me see how much health she even has. Oh man. So you like shoot her and she kind of like falls to her knees as the bullet goes through your shoulder as well. So go ahead and give yourself 4 lethal. That would be the X on the health going from left to right.
Okay.
So she wings you in your left arm, and it hurts like hell. But she like basically falls down to her knees, and blood's coming out of her mouth, and she kind of like points her gun up, and you guys get to fire one more time. She's at a -2 from her wounds. You have no negatives at this point.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ.
So you basically shoot each other again, and this time you're shot in the stomach, and you shoot her in the head, and she kind of falls over. So so you would be okay. So let me look at something really quick.
I mean, I know what just happened, but I don't know if anyone else does.
You're fucking dead?
So you hear the woman in your voice, and she says, "There's only one thing I can do, and that is prevent you from faltering here. This is be the last of my strength." And Jacob is like gasping for air as one of his lungs are punctured and bleeding out in the street. He kind of crumples to the ground.
I'm running over there. Oh, Oh shit.
Yeah, and he tries to just like say help, but all you hear is like gurgle, gurgle.
And
As
all
blood.
of a sudden, you this mist just comes out of all your noses, eyes, and ears, and kind of like dissipates into the air. And Jacob is able to take a breath, but he is almost full. He's got 1 health left.
Alright, I'm gonna try to do some medical shit here to do a patchwork job on it, 'cause I don't even know if I have medical supplies.
You do not. There's really nothing. I mean, you can try to patch it up.
Are there any shops around that I can see?
Everything is boarded up
Shit.
from the firefight.
I'll rip my shirt off and use some tourniquets of that. Tear that shit up and get some makeshift garbage tourniquets while I've got them.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and roll your intelligence medicine then?
I'm just like, hustling. Lance, check her, see if she's got anything worthwhile on her. I'm trying to patch this kid up.
Running over to her. Rifling.
What'd you say, Doc?
Damn.
So I run over to her and I start kind of rummaging through her, her stuff,
Yep.
whatever she has on her.
Yeah, that's a hell of a roll. Yeah. So you, besides her pistols, you pull out this weathered piece of paper and it has your likenesses on it. And it says "Wanted, dead or alive." Exit, and the reward is freedom. That's what it says.
So yeah, he grabs the piston over with essentially was a wanted poster and shows it to the others. It's like, it looks like there's a bounty on us.
Hey, that's great. Did you find any medical supplies?
There are no medical supplies on him, but you do a pretty good job patching him up with what you got. So I'll say Jacob regains from that roll 2 more. So he is actually injured but able to function. You're able to stop the bleeding.
Oh shit.
And what's Jacob's response to being shot twice now?
He like after finally being healed or patched up and able to think, the first thing he says is they almost never get shot in the movies.
Yeah, because Hollywood's full of shit. You're lucky you didn't die. Come on.
Yeah, he gets up and he like starts with a limp and realizes that he can probably walk on the floor and
fuck.
kinda...
And then you notice that all of a sudden all the horses are now cars, and the sheriff's Bronco kind of comes down the street. He kind of peeks out from the driver's window. He's like, "What the hell are you guys doing? I've been looking all over for you."
Don't believe any of this shit. Remember what the Miss Lady said, we're still in Arcadia.
Yeah, you were cutting out for us too, Doc. Just pop out a voice and come back in.
You hold on for a minute for him, or how you want to play it?
Yeah, just give him a second.
Okay.
Is that any better, Doc?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. What the hell you guys doing? I've been looking all over for you. Get in. We got a problem with the book.
You remember what the lady said, we're still in Arcadia. Play along, but no, this is bullshit. Just listen, stand quiet to them.
It's like, well, let's go along with this for right now. Sheriff, do you know why she drew on us?
what the hell are you talking about? And there's no, Barb's body is gone.
I look down at my waistband for the pistols.
No, you guys are not armed anymore.
What the hell?
And I give Jacob my shoulder. Come on, kid.
All right. Follows quickly behind.
Yeah, and Jacob is still definitely hurt, though. And you kind of climb in, and Sheriff looks back at JP, and he's like, "Don't bleed on my truck, boy." And he kind of, like, accelerates down the street. Not for very long. Takes a turn, and then you see the library there. He's like, "Well, I hid the book where you guys wanted me to, but got a problem."
What's the problem, Sheriff?
He looks at Ian. He's like, "This one here, he's got to take a look at it."
All right. Open the door and get ready to head out.
He opens the door and kind of like leads you into the library. There's no one in there. He takes you downstairs, and it's kind of different than what you might expect. You basically come in, and this is like the view up. And you look up and you see the sky above you and thousands of books around you. And as you come into the basement, you don't see an exit. You're now enclosed in 4 walls of shelves.
Grip's gonna get tight on Jacob and it's gonna whisper to him, "No more cowboy shit. I got the next one."
Listen, Sheriff, we're having a hard time understanding what's happening. You need to explain what's going on here.
He looks at Ian. He's like, "Ian needs to read this book. He's always needed to read it. Don't you know that?" And he kind of reaches in a random slot and pulls out the book. He's like, "It's time to do it, I think, Ian. No more pussyfooting around."
I hold my hand up so he can toss it to me.
He does so. He's like, "Now you read as far as you can before, well, you know what happens. You saw that other fella. The fella you killed and put in my pond."
Shit. What is he talking about, Ian?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just smirking at him. Be happy to. We're gonna keep an eye on him. I'm glancing up every now and then from the book because this ain't the sheriff, so I'm looking up and looking down, reading through.
All right, so you look at the first page. I want you to make a humanity roll based on your current humanity. I believe you have
Take a
five humanity currently, I believe.
Let's take a peek. Humanity is at...
Should be...
Where the fuck is that at?
It is... Good question, where is it? I'm almost positive it's 5, but where is it?
Is that integrity?
Integrity, where's integrity?
Integrity's below initiative on traits.
Should not
6.
be. Oops, I accidentally changed it. It is... Start at 7.
It might not have been changed from whenever what happened is the thing.
Yeah, where the hell?
I see morality at 5.
Oh, morality. That's it. Humanity is for vampire. Morality is, yeah. So, okay. So, you just roll that. So, you can use your token. I believe it says humanity.
Humanity dice, and I just roll.
Yep.
This dice I mean, it's the
5.
amount of humanity I have. Okay.
Yep. You got a success.
No,
You
it
lose.
didn't.
So you're reading this and you start to feel like kind of not knowing what's happening, and like, but you understand it. And so you read it and you see Barb sitting in a chair, and you see a man with the rings come up to her, and she's tied to that chair, and he looks down at her and he's like, "Where's the girl?" And she doesn't say anything, and he rears back and punches her in the face. And "Where's the girl?" Punch. "Where's the girl?" Punch. "Where's the girl?" Punch. Over and over and over again until you don't recognize who is sitting in the chair. And then all of a sudden, the image fades on the screen, or it's a screen in your mind, but it's the book page, right? And you lose humanity. Keep reading, boy. There's more to be found.
And he's got clenched fists holding onto the book like this. You see, like his knuckles are white, and his jaw's clenched. Turn the pages.
Go ahead and roll another humanity roll. This time 4. Okay. So this time, you see, basically it's a dark night, and you realize you're in Miranda's house, and you're in the room that you were in when those people came and broke in. But you kind of look outside and you see 2 people talking outside, and you recognize them. One's an Asian American woman, and one's just a normal kind of looking guy. And they're talking. The girl says, "We've got to get her this time." And the other one nods, and he's like, "Yeah, we got to get her." And they both look kind of morose, and the High Mountain Lodge is just down to a few of us now. All gone because of her. And one of them says, "I didn't want this life for us." And she shakes her head. "Me either. I just wanted to... I don't know how we even got involved in all this." And he frowns and hugs her and says, "Maybe it'll all go away. We take care of this one last thing." And then you kind of see Miranda. The scene kind of changes. You see Miranda laying in the bed, reading a book, and just idly, like, drinking a glass of wine as the alarm goes off in the house, and then you hear a scream, and she just looks up and sighs, and is like, she says something to the effect of, "Let's see if they're worth the investment." And then the page fades.
I recognize the High Mountain Lodge.
That is what she called you guys. Miranda called you guys when she said you guys were official hunters. So.
Oh, motherfucker.
Jack says, "Well, are you gonna keep reading or what? They call it press your luck, no whammies, you know."
Get sweat pouring down my face. Here we go again.
Oh God.
You're looking at the sheriff, and all of a sudden his kind of visage changes, kind of similar to what Jacob shot. And he just stares at you like you don't recognize him, or don't recognize that his face has changed, and he's like, "Yeah, keep reading there. I'll make sure when you get back to keep this book nice and tight." Kind of laughs. He's like, "There's a lot of people that want to read it out there." He just sits there.
I rolled.
Yep. You gonna keep going?
Yeah, I did. I rolled for it.
Yeah, that was the last one. you saw kind of
the
what.
one I just rolled was. Oh, you mean that was for looking at him?
Yeah. He
Okay.
like, completely changed his appearance. Excellent. You see a man step out of his house, pulling a hoodie up over his head. When he has a duffel bag that he carries to a little car, and he drives off, and he's in this long driveway, and you see him open the duffel bag, and the first thing is a gas mask, and he goes to put it on his face, and you see in the rear view mirror that it's Asher, and he puts it on, and then he reaches back into the backpack and pulls out this, what looks to be a makeshift flamethrower with a small propane tank that he hoists on his back, and he walks up this driveway, and you see this man kind of out by his shed, and you recognize him. He is the person that ran against the sheriff in the last election, and a branch snaps, and the flamethrower ignites, and the flame goes over the guy who lost the election to Jack, and he screams out in horror as he falls and burns terribly alive. Gonna keep going?
Yes. Ian's like pouring sweat, shaking, and rubbing his head as he's turning pages now. Oh, fuck me.
Down to 3 humanity. So you see basically Lance laying in the cave that you've visited twice now, and you see kind of he's the only one in there, and this woman, beautiful but horrifying kind of looking woman, with large eyes. Let me get you a picture of what that looks like, actually.
Oh, good. I was just wondering. I couldn't picture this. I just wanted to definitely see it. I'd hit it.
And he is naked, and she climbs over top of him and mounts him, and after a few moments it's over, and she hops off and goes and sits in the corner, then begins to breathe heavily, and her stomach begins to distend and grow, and out comes what appears to be an arm reaching out, and it grabs onto a rock, a stalactite, and pulls itself out, and that thing grows rapidly and changes, and it appears to be Lance, and it walks out of the cave slowly. The sheriff asked, "You're looking mighty peaked there, Ian. You sure you want to keep going? There's some mighty interesting things still left in that book."
No fear. All balls.
Go. And you see this woman looking down, and you notice the woman that is in view, and it's Victoria, and she's walking, and she's looking over her shoulder, looking quite afraid, nervous, something like that. She ducks into a corner, and you see that person watching her, and she says, "You will be mine. You will be mine." And then that visage fades. I think you got one more page left there, Ian. Down to 2. You see Miranda. She's seated in her room reading, and she stands up and walks over to her mirror, which is not broken, and she looks inside and sees this, and she frowns and curses as she takes a step back, and you notice her levitate off the ground, and her eyes crackle with what appears to be electricity, and her hands glow in a green sort of mist, and you just feel the ground tremble as she lets out a bellow of absolute anger, and you fall backwards, your mind nearly destroyed, and the sheriff kind of laughing. Well, now that was an interesting read, wasn't it?
And Ian's dead stare ahead, book lying on the ground, just not saying or doing anything. Just leaned up against one of the walls here that are the books.
Jacob just looks to the sheriff and says, "Are we done here?"
Lance rushes over to Ian and like kneels down next to him. Is like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? We gotta get out of here. Let's get up." He starts to help him up.
Nothing's okay. Nothing.
Yeah, your friend was nearly lobotomized there, but we're done. There's only one thing left. Gotta go see the White Queen.
Nothing's okay.
Just take us to the Queen. Let's be done with this.
I don't think you're done. She says when you're done. But, yeah, I think she's ready for you. Like, you're all bloody, you look quite nice, actually. And, well, I think this one's lost his mind.
Then lead the way, Sheriff.
He pushes kind of one of the bookcases, and it's like a false bookcase, is what you would see in movies or whatever. And it opens, and you walk through, and you notice you're somewhere very familiar.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
And you are in the main room, the grand room of the Albridge's house. And Miranda's sitting in a chair with her legs crossed, looking at you. You don't look so well, my pups.
Alright, cut the bullshit, lady. What's going on?
And she looks at Jacob, Lance, and Ian in turn. This is my domain. You are almost kin to me, Lance. Almost.
Just give us our instruction. Tell us what we need to do to get out of here.
Ian just mumbles.
Yeah. What's
Like
Jacob
Queen.
doing?
Jacob does not believe it's his aunt, and he's probably still looking for any weapon he has,
White Queen.
and just waiting to see.
What did Ian say?
I was just mumbling White Queen and looking up at Miranda back down on the ground.
Well, you seem all the worse for wear, but there can be a compromise. That compromise is this. I will remove myself from your pitiful place. Glenwood Springs, they call it. The cave will go, the readers will go, all my influence will go. But there is something you need to get me. That is my prize, Victoria DuPont. Deliver her to me, and you will know salvation from this place. And Lance, you will return back to your normal self.
How can we trust you? After everything we've been through, how can we trust you?
Trust me or not, it is the only way. I could just leave you here. Is that what you want? And then Miranda's visage fades, and instead she looks something quite different in front of you as her ire begins to grow. Enough of this. Bring me what I want, and you will be saved. Or Lance, you will become one of my minions, and the rest of you will never live and never sleep in peace again.
Where do we find her?
Not far from where you left her. Outside the club, in an abandoned warehouse. She's hiding there. All you have to do is have her eat this. And she extends a piece of fruit towards you. And then all will be well.
Lance walks up and he grabs the fruit out of her hand, just kind of snatches it out. Better keep your word, lady.
Of course. I am the White Queen. I never lie.
So how do we get back?
Oh, I think you've seen this before. And she stands up and walks upstairs. Through the mirror. And she goes to take Jacob's hand to lead him upstairs.
As, like, her form, as the queen's form?
Yes.
So, the Jacob in me would let her take it mesmerized, but the player in me doesn't want to touch her. No, I think he would, like in a daze, kind of, like, let her lead him.
Mm-hmm. She leads you upstairs. I don't know why I have Barb there. I'm sorry. Just through the mirror. Just like how you came here, then you'll be home. And then, if you do as I say, all will be forgotten.
No.
What do you mean, no? Is your brain mush?
You've been lying to us from the beginning, getting us to run around and dance and do what you want us to do. We do it now, you get exactly what you want. And I know none of us will get what we want.
Oh, you think I'm Miranda? No. No, my dear Ian. I am not that woman. That mage. Oh, she has been playing you for a fool, no doubt. She wants dominion for herself. Why not recruit those close to her to help her in this task? But no, I am not her. She has lied to you. I have never lied to you, Ian. I have been truthful to you from the start. We
Is there
played a
roll that I can
game.
make?
Yeah, you can make an empathy roll. So let's see. So that would
So
be
2
probably empathy, and how about wits or resolve?
empathy. Wits. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Whoops, click my token. Alright, and do I take a negative at all? Because I have,
You got healed enough where you don't have a negative.
I'm just in the range. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I still have 3 willpower left. So
You
I
can
think
use
I'm
the
gonna spend
willpower.
1.
Yep. So add 3 to your roll. So you just put in modifiers, put 3 in there. Yep. So yeah. So you're trying to attempt to see if she's being.
So yeah, I want to know if this, like, any of this is actually going to get us what we want. Like, are they, like, I don't think they're actually going to, like, as a player, I don't think they're actually going to leave town, and I don't think Miranda's been lying to us. I think that she's just trying to play us.
You think that this... Here's what you can tell. You can tell that this is very important to her. She definitely wants Victoria to eat that fruit. And you feel that she's willing to give up certain things to do that. Now, what she has said seems to be true, that these things will happen, but you don't know what the consequences of those things are. You know that the cave probably will go away. You know that the readers probably will go away, right? But you don't know what the actual ramifications of that is. Nothing is ever exactly as it seems, right? As you know.
That's why Do I have a weapon on me?
You do not.
Yeah. I see. I didn't think so. So yeah, I guess he asks, why does she need to eat the apple? Why is that so important to you?
Because it will bring her back here, where she belongs. She has long been my favorite child that escaped me. She will become somewhat like Lance here, only more beautiful. The vainglory running through her will be exquisite. She will be my child. She will be my friend. She will be my lover. We will rule Arcadia together.
If giving her this fruit and bringing her back here gets us out of here, then fuck it. I'm gonna go get her. And Lance just walks towards the mirror.
What are the rest of you doing?
At that point, I guess I would have to follow. I don't want to wait a couple seconds and get teleported to the other side of the world for some reason. So I'm definitely going through with Lance.
What is Ian gonna do?
I'm just standing there and I'm still fucked up. My head's still running through everything I saw, so I'm just kind of standing there.
Yeah, he would. I guess Jacob would notice the frozen Ian, and he grabs him kind of by the elbow area, right? And yanks, and he's like, "Come on, Ian, you've been helping me. Now it's my turn to help you. We gotta go." And kind of gives a tug.
He's not gonna resist or anything.
So he pulls you along.
Going through.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lance is stepping through already.
Okay. You head out. One sec.
Oh man. Welcome home.
Now, you do come out. Okay, so let me fix this real quick.
Oh, this is the best. This is the best session ever.
So, you walk out and you realize you're in the cold streets of Denver, outside of the club. Across the street, you see what was shown to you before, the door where Victoria DuPont was supposedly staying. And you hear the music of the club in the background. And you look at yourselves and you're dressed as you were before you went through the mirror.
Let's just go get her and get this done with.
And Jacob, you're no longer injured. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
She said she was hiding in a house across the street.
We need to get answers. We can't give that chick what she wants.
Jacob says, well, Barb.
She just wants her to go back and stay with her there in that plane. Fuck it.
That's not all it is. It's never all it is. Why would she need her? Why is she giving up so much? That's all her power for one person. There's something else going on. It's always a play. It's always something. And where is Barb?
Some warehouse or something? Hiding? Or something? I can't remember what she said.
I mean, I know what's happening to Barb. I don't know where that is, though. And assuming everything I've seen is accurate, which it probably is. I would hope it is, going insane from seeing it.
Where's the bodyguard? I mean, where's the bouncer that was here?
Nowhere, dude. You've seen. You're outside, right? You don't. The doors are closed and locked, and nobody. The music's playing, but there's nobody out there.
Just go in the warehouse and get some answers.
So I, scan the street, up and down the street, across the street, looking for what looks like a warehouse.
Yeah, you see where you think that you were shown.
Well, let's just go there then. And I just start walking across the street, heading to the warehouse.
Yep. Jacob follows.
Yeah, you open the warehouse door and there's these stairs going up. You don't hear anything. Pretty dark. The street light that's pretty close outside that is illuminating some parts of the stairwell as you walk up.
And I start walking up the stairwell.
And it's not a tall building from what you can tell, and you get to another level room, whatever you call it, and you hear somebody call out, "Is that you?" Feminine
Yeah, it's
voice.
me. Come out.
And out steps Victoria DuPont. She has a gun in her hand. She's like, "Oh, what happened in there?"
You tell us what happened in there. We went in after her. She disappeared. What was her name? Who we went after?
Ingrid.
Lilith Duvall? Ingrid Duvall, yeah.
Yeah.
Ingrid? Yeah. We went in after Ingrid. And she disappeared. What's going on?
She says, "I don't know. You've been gone 10 minutes.
You can put the gun down.
And she puts it down on a box in front of her. Okay, what's wrong? What happened?" He steps forward.
We were in there and we lost Ingrid. She took off running. We chased her and we couldn't find her. And Lance is kind of inching his way, kind of milling about, basically, almost like he's pacing, trying to get closer to the gun.
Yeah, you have whatever you had before you left on your person. So,
So
I think Lance has a gun.
Yeah. Okay.
Ian is closely observing Lance, and it's tensed up just in case.
Yeah,
Ian
she's just like standing there. She's like, "And you didn't find her. How did you get back here?"
Someone in a skull mask. He pointed the direction that we needed to go, and we walked what seems like forever before someone else said, "Walk through this portal."
Roll
So we did
manipulation subterfuge.
And he just kind of keeps talking and saying the same things.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Manipulation subterfuge. Okay, she's like, the butler, he helped you. This doesn't make any sense. And she looks at Ian and Jacob, and she's like, what did you see? You might have seen something different. And she's like, within arm's length of all of you now.
Everything he's telling you is bullshit.
And she looks at Lance and takes a step back.
I immediately pull my gun out on her and hold it on her and try and make a move towards the gun on the desk.
I mean, she just like backs up with her arms up. What's
Okay.
happening? What are you doing?
I grab the gun off the desk and I pass
Hold
it
on.
backwards to me towards Ian.
I take the gun and I cock it, and at first I point it towards her, but then I put it on Lance and tell him, "Put it down, Lance."
God damn it.
What's
Uh-oh.
going on? What are you doing? What's Jacob doing during all this?
Jacob immediately pulled his dagger, and probably as soon as the gun was tossed in the air, or not his dagger, his hunting knife, and when the gun was tossed and Lance pointed it, or Ian pointed it at Lance, then Jacob would have also, knife on Lance.
Mm-hmm. He's like, what's going on? What are you doing?
Put it down, Lance.
We just need her to take a bite of this and we're free.
She gets a chance to explain, Lance. You know that you can't trust the White Queen. She's full of shit.
She
Put it
looks
down.
at she when you say take the bite, she's like, oh, I'm not doing that. And she like basically starts like walking backwards very quickly into the darkness. I'm not going back there. No, not for you,
here.
not for anyone.
Put it down, Lance.
God damn it, Ian, this is our way out. What are you doing?
Jacob says to her, as she's backing up, he says, "Don't leave. We just have questions. You won't be eating the apple, or it's an apple, right?"
Yeah, I mean,
Or it looks
essentially,
like an
yeah. Uh-huh.
Right.
Somebody's gonna be eating
So that's what
something.
it says.
Don't put that fucking gun down, Lance.
And as she starts to back up, Lance fires at her.
I'm firing up, Lance.
Okay, God Almighty. All right, Lance, go ahead and you roll yours first. One armor.
What's the weapon damage on a pistol?
10 again. It's a 2.
This went unexpectedly.
And you said one armor?
1 armor. You miss.
Oh, okay.
So
Well-
the shot goes high.
Jacob is also stabbing the shit out of Lance.
Yeah. My last 2 games that I've GM'd, Doc has got attacked by people in the group.
Yeah, and it's been me both times.
I know.
So, oh god. Okay. So what am I rolling for? I'm assuming I'm gonna roll like a 45 autoloader type thing for this, or how
Yeah,
would I do this?
just a 2 damage one, whatever Lance's armor is.
Okay, so firearms, right?
Yeah, firearms 10 again.
Okay, and then 2 damage.
2 damage.
Okay, and one defense armor.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, let's see
let me
here.
stab him, please.
So
Roll the
so-
dice again.
What's
It
that? No,
auto does it.
it auto does it. Yeah, it auto does it. You
Okay.
can see you rolled it. So, Lance, you're shot in the back. You can use your changeling statistics to do things if you want.
Yep, I'm gonna do that. It's time to get all changeling up in here.
So, hold on. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I enjoy our walks, Teddy.
What would the knife be? Is it
One
strength
damage.
or dex?
It's
no, it's two for
it
the
is.
Bowie, but
It should be hold on. There's a weaponry.
Oh,
Weapon
yeah.
weaponry
Taking a knife
dex.
You have
So
a
what-
crotch Bowie knife? Where the fuck do you put the knife?
In his boot.
Oh, fair enough. That's right. I remember now. He had a boot knife. Well done. Well done. Oh my
That's
god.
if I get to stab. That's if I get to stab it. I'm best to run outside real quick, so I just wanted to do that.
Yep. Okay. Let me see something here first. So, let's take like 5 minutes.
Okay. 5-minute brainstorm to figure out how the fuck you're gonna salvage this shit.
No, I no, that's fine. This was
Yeah.
I just need to look up some
I
things.
got you. Oh shit.
You guys are bastards.
Hey man, I get where you're coming from because I wouldn't want to be a changeling either, but there we got some conflicting goals here.
Yeah, there's a progression that needs to be taken.
Mhm. I like that we're at odds, but
Doc, I'm gonna send you some PMs on Discord.
Well, while we're taking our break, here's what's gonna happen. I predict Oracle Swamp is here. We kill what we need to do. We go there. You go mad, kill me, and then die to whatever it is. And that's the end of the game.
I got willpower to blood and not go nuts. We're good. I might die on your behalf, so you could come live a long and happy life in constant fear of the darkness. But
As long as you don't go mad first.
no, I got you. Jacob must live.
That's what I'm saying.
Jacob must live to marry that pale girl at the bar.
All I know is I gunned down Barbara.
Oh, you fucking got banged on.
If I would have
Amazing.
just used that willpower on the first shot, I might have one-shot her.
I know.
Barb. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bar got fucking banged on. Good. Get yacht.
Oh, I wasn't rolling my +1s for drawing faster on either one. On the first one. Oh well, it wouldn't have mattered, I'm sure. Statistically, right?
Mhm. Well,
With this video, I rolled well. Well, you never know. I did roll like one bonus die 3 times to blow that guy's head off.
oh yeah, that's when you had the rifle in the woods. That shit was ace.
That's home territory, baby.
It was radical. It's like hunting deer. That day we were walking on 2 legs and had guns.
Yeah. That was my rationale for taking Killer Instinct. If you shoot 2 people in the face in your first real combat scenario, then you should probably have Killer Instinct.
Okay, so all right, we're back here.
Oh,
So
baby.
basically, you shoot Lance in the back, and he. How do you role play that there, Doc?
So immediately I fire at her and it goes high, and instantaneously both of them kind of come at me. I noticed because I was, kind of in front of them, I was essentially, I'm assuming, shot in the back and stabbed in the back both. At
Yeah,
the
well,
same time.
Jacob hasn't gone yet, so.
Oh, okay. So I was shot in the back. And as soon as I get shot in the back, I feel like the searing, burning pain, radiating through my back, and I drop to my knees, and I bring my hands up to my face, up to my head, and I kind of hunch over, and I just start yelling, and I'm yelling, and as I'm yelling, it's like the fear and the pain of being shot in the back suddenly like that. As I'm yelling, I feel it kind of build up in me, and it starts radiating out of me in waves, almost like, a mirage that you see on the road when the road is, when it's really hot outside. Pain and fear starts coming off of me like that and radiating outwards and outwards and outwards. And I realize what I'm doing. And I turn around and I give the most snarling, evil look I can to Ian, and I put my hands forward and I try and force that fear and pain onto Ian.
Okay, so he's gonna do a changeling ability. So he's gonna roll. What is it? He is rolling. He's drops a willpower and drops a glamour. Now he's gonna roll manipulation plus weird. Versus your composure. So you guys are rolling just a composure roll.
Just composure.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll willpower because it sounds bad.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
Plus
if you want to
weird.
use willpower, put it in your modifier. You can use one at a time.
Okay.
And I don't have weird in my.
Yeah, you have one. You can just do it manually, or you can just pick something with one that you have.
So
one
just
in.
composure, or is it composure with something else?
It's
just
well, it's composure weird. If you had weird, but you do not.
I don't.
So
Okay.
So if you pick something that's, make sure you don't pick something that has a negative
I have a
one.
skill.
Yeah,
Just something
because
that's like base, like.
yeah, I would just roll it manually. Just roll your composure manually.
Okay, hold on.
Because if you pick something with 0, it'll give you a negative. Because that's how it works. Right?
So so 3 for composure, and then I get 3 for using the willpower.
Yes.
Okay.
Where's my? Oh, can I also use a willpower?
Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm. It's D10s, right?
Yep. Roll 2d10 there, Ghost. Alright. 3
That's
successes for Ghost. Roll another d10 there. Yes. 3 successes. Jacob?
Oh, that's for me as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's everybody.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Sorry, it's
So-
just composure, right?
Composure and willpower if you want to add it. If not, that's fine.
Yeah,
So you have 3 composure.
ouch.
So Jacob, basically you feel this hate for Ian wash over you, and now you want to stab him.
Ooh, actually, let me read it just to make sure.
And we'll re-roll.
Rolls
Because
to influence.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is a true friend. You have an unbreakable bond of friendship with a chosen character. Rolls to influence your friend to your detriment suffer a -5 penalty. I don't know.
Oh
I don't know
wow.
if that means he would have had.
That
Yeah.
means, you rolled a 0.
I didn't realize that's what was happening.
So we'll leave. No, that's fine. We'll leave the roll for Ian the same, but Doc, why don't you re-roll versus Jacob with a -5? So you roll 2 dice.
Oh shit. That was a pretty clutch fucking pick pre-session, not knowing this was gonna fucking happen.
Oh, he's
fuck.
Oh, wow.
Still got you
my-
though.
I'm bound and determined to fuck you up.
Oh shit.
So Ian's defense, I'm gonna say he's not defending against you. So what's your armor versus melee?
Let's take a peek. Armor versus melee is 1.
So 0. So that 4 that I rolled earlier stands.
Is that
wanna
what you
take that?
rolled? You rolled 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
I rolled
So-
the knife against him, but since it would be Ian, then
that's fine. So Ian takes 4 damage. How do you guys roleplay that?
I assume like Ian stands tall because he doesn't get scared or doesn't feel anything. As I'm stabbing that into the knife into his ribs, I just see Ian, and all of a sudden this, just I hate him more than I've ever hated anything, and that the knife redirect catches him probably like just above the heart or something, like in the chest, but not quite in anything vital, just a little too high up in the shoulder, maybe.
Just take the hit. Oh, just stagger a bit. Jacob, what the fuck?
And is it still like is it persisting?
Let me see how that works. Just,
Right.
Let me make sure. We're gonna roll initiative now, though.
Holy shit. Oh my god. That's not horrible, I guess. Motherfucker. I hope it's not persisting. You're gonna fucking dominate me.
It doesn't say it's persistent, so after you stab him, you're feeling better, and it's your turn. Yeah, you see that your blade is like in Ian's chest, and you kind of suddenly snap out of it.
And he says, "What? No, Lance made me do that." And he, recocks and stabs it into Lance.
You don't know why you did that.
I thought that Lance did something,
Yeah, he did.
or did it? No,
I
I know,
mean-
but I thought it was like obvious.
Yeah, he did something. You don't know what, but yeah, I think it would be safe to say, yeah, okay, I think he did. But yeah,
All right.
okay. So defense and armor.
so-
What is that for you, Lance?
1.
Both combined?
Oh no, my armor is 1.
Okay, so 2. So that's your negative modifier there, Jacob.
But yeah, so it negates.
Yeah, if you do that melee, yeah, there you go. So you nick him. Not enough to drop him. But you're in bad shape there, Lance.
Oh, I should have aimed. Oh well.
Yeah.
And you are up.
Yeah. So I see them kind of coming at me like that, and I just refocus that rage again and direct it to the room once more, trying to get them all through.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get everyone confused and angry and hating the people that attacked me. It's essentially, it's you guys are feeling what I'm feeling, and it's hate towards both of you. So you will hate each other as well.
Roll it. Feel free to use willpowers if you got them left.
Yes. So I have several. I haven't used any.
Yeah, minus 5 on Jacob. So basically, you're going to roll
We
one
both?
for Ian and Is it? Does it say just
Ian
for
and I both
you?
have
Well,
Ian and I-
no, I have true friend as well. Fuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
So
both
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So you're rolling 2 dice.
Did you guys choose each other as those friends, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely do.
We're bros, man.
It's
Well,
like
then
a.
fuck this. I'm shooting him.
Okay.
Fucking a man.
So
No
I-
defense,
I-
just armor.
I turn around and I grab my gun and I aim at Ian and fire.
Okay, so projectile.
Do you get-
do you have projectile armor?
Doubtful.
He was dressed for the club.
I sure don't.
1.
Good luck, Jake.
So firearms 10 or 9.
10.
Weapon damage 2.
Mm-hmm.
No armor.
No armor.
Nope.
No, there's always 1 armor,
Mm,
I think.
Yeah, regular clothes are 1.
yep.
Okay. So.
Ooh. I'm hurting.
That wings you.
I start kind of like pushing my way back towards Victoria while I'm firing at Ian.
Oh, she's. You do not know where she went.
Well, I'm pushing my way back in the direction she
Yeah.
went.
Aim fire.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
You get a -1 right
Okay. Firearms 10, right?
now. Mm-hmm.
Does the aim do anything?
1 die.
So it just negates the penalty, essentially.
Yep. Oh, okay. So, how do you? Lance is dead. How does that look?
I take that shot, recoil back. I gave you a fucking chance, freak. You don't get another one, and then just right through the head.
Yeah, he's stu- Yeah, go ahead.
But as he's firing at me, I'm yelling, "It was self-defense!"
I collapse to the ground at that I am fucked up.
Yeah, Jacob attempts his best. He's awful at medicine. Well, he's not awful. I'm pretty sure he's fairly bad though.
Can I try to walk
but he's
and
gonna-
touch stuff since he's trying to help me and I know medicine? Is
Yeah,
there like
I mean,
anything
you-
I can do for assistance?
I mean, he can help you. There's no reason to really worry about the mechanical parts of it, I don't think.
Okay.
But yeah, he helps you with your help. He's able to stop your bleeding, and you're kind of sitting in this empty warehouse with the lights flickering.
Jacob just says, Victoria. It's Victoria, right?
Yeah.
Victoria, are you still here?
And you hear like sobbing nearby.
And it's like sitting there, Jacob is like, go check on her, kid. I'm not dying, at least for another couple hours.
He nods and walks over there.
And you see her kind of in the corner, and she looks up at you and she says, "I'm not eating that fruit. I don't want to go back there."
I never expected you to. It was that changeling, Lance.
And then she asked, Now what?"
He kind of like looks back around the corner to Ian and looks at her and he says, I was kind of hoping you could maybe help with that.
And says, I don't know what happened in there.
And she means in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he explains the we got there and I had to gun duel Barbara, and we read the book and he almost went mad, and that we succeeded, and then she gave us a task to pretty much have her eat the apple, and if she did, then the man would leave, or the Snow Queen would leave.
So, she says, I believe she's telling the truth. Maybe could just sacrifice myself. And she looks like dejected and kind of stands up, and her head's hanging low. What did you say something about your aunt? That now you guys all were able to. Did Ian actually? Let me step back. Did Ian talk about what he found in the book?
Actually, no.
No, not yet.
Okay.
He hasn't said anything about it.
Then she just kind of like lumbers forward and doesn't say anything.
Well, so actually, that was the next thing Jacob was gonna say anyway. He was gonna say uncle, but before we do anything hasty, I don't think the Snow Queen or the White Queen expected us to do this anytime soon. Let me call my uncle and maybe see what they say. If there's a way to.
Yeah, she nods. She's like, we can go back to the club. And she like, there's a back entrance. And she walks out and looks at Lance. There's a very loud club. No, you didn't. And she looks at Ian. She's like, come with me. And she kind of helps get Ian on his feet. Down the stairs.
Trust that lady.
Of course not. Says. And she kind of gets you downstairs and back into the club in a back way. And you end up back in her room eventually.
I mean, as we're walking, I'm gonna just relate things piece by piece as to what I saw.
Jacob immediately heads to a phone.
Because this is the girl who's gonna have answers. I mean, or something maybe based on what I'm seeing. I can't make some of the stuff makes sense. Other stuff just can't make heads or tails. Or like the concept, but it's like, what does it all mean together? Is the thing. She's a part of it, so.
So she sits and listens as you recount your tale, and she goes over to this bust, and you see how there's an amulet there, and she takes it down and kind of puts it on, and she kind of thumbs it, and she says, that is strange, your aunt. What do you know of her?
Jacob says, honestly, really not much. Not as much as I thought, at least.
And she says, we need to go talk to her. I think that's the only way.
Okay. I mean, she did send us here. Or someone did, my uncle, her.
Yeah, I mean, what's Ian saying?
I'm trying not to pass out.
Yeah.
So I just got shot twice, or stabbed once and shot once. I'm trying not to pass out. I'm sitting here just like, nodding along with shit, fucking blinking real slow. Because I'm still kind of high. 2, I've been shot and stabbed, and I'm probably tired.
Clean this up. So you drive, and it's late now, in the middle of the night, and you pull into Jacob's house, and the doors are quite uncharacteristically wide open as you get there.
Fuck. No.
Jacob pulls his rifle, levels it, and makes sure there's a round in there.
Ian
before they enter.
pulls his pistol that he has, and I would think I took the pistol from the dead changeling guy that I shot in the mouth, and I hand it to Victoria. You know how to use this?
She nods slowly.
Okay. I don't know if there's some trouble in here if I'm gonna make it, so just try to leave, I guess.
You walk in and you hear someone talking in the great room.
Like Jacob puts a finger over his mouth and like shh, gives the be quiet, and it's gonna like slowly creep like I guess stealth forward.
Yeah, you hear the voice and it's clearly Miranda's, and she's just saying, "Come in, just come in."
Okay. All right, so I guess we'll enter.
And she's basically just sitting there in a white dress, with a glass of wine in her hand, drinking it as you enter.
And just stagger down and fall over and sit in a couch or chair or whatever's nearby and just... What the hell was it? The High Mountain Lodge? Is that what... High Mountain Lodge, huh?
What of it?
Seen some things. Makes me question a lot you told us.
You are the new High Mountain Lodge. The old one, well, I believe you've killed them all.
He's just, like, incredulous, shaking his head, like, man, it's a fucked up place we live in, Jacob.
Yeah, and he's just like staring, listening intently to this conversation, but nods at your comment for sure.
And she like closes her eyes and she says, "You do not look well, Ian." And she like snaps her fingers, and you feel like your injuries like closing, the damage in your body healing rapidly. And she like closes her eyes, and you see a speck of blood come out of her nose, and she kind of wipes it away as you like immediately feel 100% fine.
What the fuck?
She says, "Such overt magics should be avoided at all possible. But why not?"
I'm assuming that's the full heal.
Full heal.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. So I'm hoping you got some answers for us now. Thanks, by the way.
What are your questions?
Well, I would relate what I saw when we were in Arcadia. The many different murders or beatings or strange occurrences that happened with her, where she was essentially manipulating us to kill the shitty High Mountain Lodge.
She
And,
nods. Yeah, when you talk about that specifically, and she says, "Yes, it was a test. You passed, by the way."
But why not just use them with us?
No, they wanted to kill me. They're hunters after all, looking to kill the supernatural. But you were my hunters. And unfortunately, this has come to this. And she frowns and says, "Though, if you were willing to still hunt for me, this time with a open dialogue."
Jacob finally, for the first time, talks and just says, "How in the fuck am I supposed to trust anything you say to me?" And he probably looks like super hurt.
Yeah. "I'm sorry, Jacob. How could I come out and say, 'Yes, Jacob, I'm a magic user, I'm a mage'? How could I say these things? Would you believe that? It is nonsense."
He says, "If you snapped your fingers and somebody's broken leg just healed, I'm sure I'd believe it."
Jacob, such things are difficult even for me.
He says, "Well then, basically, what you're saying is everything that's happened, you've tricked us into killing these. Now you want us to do what they did, but for you."
Yes, there's other supernatural things here, as you've seen, that have nothing to do with me. I'm trying to protect this place. Protect it from them. There are more things you do not know about. Creeping about. Me and your uncle. Well, we have both dedicated our lives to this. He does not know my true nature, so do not blame him. But this is something that needs to be done. Either you can side with me or, well, suppose I will leave this place.
Jacob looks at Ian and says, "What do you think?"
And Ian sort of just mulls it over and scratches the stubble that's been growing. The 5 o'clock shadow that's been turned into a 5 o'clock bearded bush. And just looks at Miranda. "Well, you've heard everything we had to say about what happened. What the fuck do we need to do?"
You want to close the cave?
I want it all to be
Jacob
done.
nods.
And she looks at Victoria and she says, "We know one way. But I know another. I will do this for you as a testament of my goodwill. But I will need to go away for a while afterwards. I will be weakened."
Jacob says, "And what do you plan to do exactly? Close this portal?"
Close it myself. Without the aid of any changeling. Without the aid of the White Queen. I can do such things, but, as I say, power is finite. And it is taxing.
What do you need us to do? Because giving them DuPont doesn't seem like a good idea.
No. She isn't innocent. And Victoria looks quite afraid. She says, "Go get the book. Bring it back to me."
Alright. Ian stands up. You ready, Jacob?
Jacob nods. So the sheriff knows where the book is, but didn't tell us, correct?
Yeah, he said he was just hiding it in the
Perfect.
library somewhere.
Yeah. So he says, better talk to the sheriff.
And she nods. So you gonna call him?
Who's
or
driving?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we can call him because I can just tell us where it's at, of course.
Go for it,
So
Jacob.
definitely.
Well, assuming he answers.
You call
Right.
his house and he does answer. Hello, this is Jack.
Says, sheriff, it's Jacob. We need to know where the book is. Quickly.
What for, Jacob?
I think we can close this portal. Miranda has a way. But we need the book.
Alright, well. Actually, it's out at my house. So, come on out here and, yeah, I got the book. But my
Your
car is
house.
having issues. Yeah, my car is having issues, so, I gotta work on it. So you're gonna have to come out here, okay?
Jacob says, I didn't think that's what we agreed on, Sheriff.
Yeah, well, I didn't quite trust that Lance fella. I wouldn't bring him if I were you.
That's reasonable.
We won't.
Bunch of
You sure?
assholes.
You sure? We can drive back to Denver. Oh, fuck me.
So especially since the plan changed, is there a way over the phone I can do like an empathy roll? Just so
I mean, no, not really, but I mean, I think the point
I-
was
it seems.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Yeah. So Jacob hangs up and relays that message to Ian.
Alright. Miss DuPont, you should probably stay here.
And Miranda's nods. I'll take good care of it.
Alright, Jacob, let's end this shit.
Is that messed up for you guys
Whoa, that's pretty white.
too? Weird.
You're in purgatory, and you find nothing. No.
Very strange. Okay. Alright, we'll just, Oh, now it worked.
Hey,
Strange.
that's pretty good.
What was wrong?
I don't know, this the screen... There you go. Oh no. Odd. Okay.
It worked for me.
Huh. It was coming up, all messed up for me. Alright, Jacob, Ian, Sheriff. Okay. So the lights are on as you get there, and actually the sheriff's waiting out on his deck and kind of like his coat all bundled up. He's like, yeah, what? I got the book here. Inside, come on.
Jacob goes inside.
Mm-hmm.
You go inside and you see the book sitting on like his coffee table.
Jacob points at it and says, "There it is, Ian."
And go to grab it.
You pick it up, and you notice that in the sheriff's hand is basically his gun. He's like, now, I don't know what's going on, but you guys are giving me the heebie-jeebies right about now. Should I be scared of you two?
What for?
You're acting mighty peculiar.
Look, we talked with Miranda. There's a way to end all this. We just came to get the book, Sheriff. I'm not trying to spook you.
Well, I'm pretty spooked. And then outside you see headlights of somebody pulling up in the driveway.
The fuck's that?
Jacob says, Sheriff, I think someone might have followed us here.
And he frowns and he's like, who would have followed you here? And you see this white car pull up and quickly, and basically he turns on the floodlight outside and you see this person step out.
Oh shit.
He's like, I called Asher, told him to come on over. I don't know who that feller is out there. Is he
That's
wearing
Asher.
What's he wearing?
Don't go outside, Sheriff.
Jerry. Jacob looks at Sheriff and he says, I think Asher's like Jerry now.
I don't understand. Well, let's stay in here then. Lock the doors.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just try to give a hands-off explanation if I can. Sheriff, when we went to Denver on Miranda's orders, we saw some crazy shit. Asher was in this alternate weird place that we went through. It was like when we went to that mansion. You remember the mansion? The whole ball and everything like that? Asher was in that place. He's dressed like that. I saw the book. I saw him kill someone. Look, don't go out there. Lock these doors. We need ways out of here.
Well, I got a way. There's a door out in kind of the cellar. The walkout.
Move that way. We gotta start shutting the blinds as we go. We gotta get out of here.
And you see Asher kind of start coming up these steps. And then he kind of goes to these doors and just starts kicking it. And they start rattling. Well, we better get going.
I'm hauling ass.
Yeah, Jay. Both of them.
So he takes you down in this, basically the storm cellar. And, well, it's attached to the outside, too. He's like, walks over to this ladder and looks up and kind of, like, pulls out his keys and starts unlocking this padlock and starts pushing. It's covered in snow, and you hear this crash from outside and footsteps on the wooden floors above you. I could use some help here, Ian.
Fuck. Alright. Jacob, watch the door. Is where we came down from.
Oh, yeah.
Go
Rifle's already trained on it.
up there and just try to muscle it with the sheriff.
Yeah, go ahead and roll strength and athletics.
He's a badass.
Yeah. You and the sheriff are able to get it open. The snow kind of falls off. He's like, all right, let's get to the car then.
Come on, Jacob, let's go.
On my way. And he tucks his rifle and runs.
You guys hustle back out to the car and get inside, and you're able to light her up and get going. And you just, as you're driving, you see the front doors open, and then this guy step out with this flamethrower, and there's like the pilot flame basically. And as you're going, it just like shoots off kind of towards you, but you're way out of range.
So Jacob says to Ian, what if this guy follows us?
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
I can probably take him out if he comes down the road.
Shoot his tire.
Yeah, pop his tire.
Good idea, Sheriff. And I guess he would say, stop for a second, and as long as we're out of range, right?
Yeah,
and,
you're well.
Jacob
You can do it without a shot for you.
Rolling. Yeah, so he pegs like at least 2 tires.
Yeah. Like, that's fucked up, man. That Asher, he's a nice fella. I don't know. Are you sure that's him?
Positive. Trust me, I've seen some shit over the last couple of days. Well, it feels like a couple days, but really it's just the same day.
He rubs his beard and go on your way. Head back to the residence. And you were gone about an hour. And it's probably 4 a.m. now.
Oh, fuck's sake. Good thing I did that PCB.
Yeah, you're actually coming down now. You kind of feel like shit.
Well, you mean it took me just waiting another hour instead of getting shot and stabbed to actually feel bad? Fuck
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you got healed completely, right? So, yeah. So you,
Magic hand.
yeah. You basically the doors are not open, but they're unlocked, and you see Miranda kind of pacing around. Victoria is like standing there and with a cup of coffee as you come in. And she asks, "Do you have the book?"
Show it to her, then toss it to her, and reach for that coffin. Let me get a sip of that real quick.
Victoria gives it to you, and Sheriff he's like, "Well, what's going on? We gonna close this thing or not?" And Miranda takes you up to basically, she has all this stuff moved out of the way, and there's a huge pentagram on the ground made with rose petals.
Oh.
And she's like, "All right, give me the book."
Toss it to her.
Yeah, we're already this deep. Like,
And she sits the book down in the middle and opens it. And she's like, "This will be very painful for me to read." And she flattens it out and says, "I need someone else to read these incantations." And she hands another book over to Jacob or Ian or whoever.
Taking it.
if Ian would reach out for it, Jacob would slap his hand and say, "You've done enough reading."
I'm gonna put my
I think it's
hand
my turn.
on Jacob's shoulder. No, kid, that's exactly why I gotta keep doing the reading. I'll be fine.
We're at such an impasse here because I'm not gonna let this happen, but you're not gonna let this not happen.
She looks at the both of you and says, "It's not gonna harm you. It's just words. You don't understand them.
Stay. Don't
Just
even worry
try
about it, kid."
to pronounce them correctly."
And then he's gonna double take. Think about it. Yeah, I wasn't very good
Yeah.
at grammar.
Jacob, can you pronounce those?
And she's like, "I cannot read them. So it's gonna take a wits and probably intelligence occult."
Oh.
Yeah.
Jacob, you got higher than 1 intelligence?
Yeah, but I have no
Yeah.
occult.
How much intelligence do you have?
2.
Yeah, but then if he
It's
has 0
irrelevant.
occult, it's gonna give him a negative, right?
So it's better to me than for me to do it then, because I
Mm.
actually have 2 in a call.
Yeah.
All right, that's me.
Because if you unskilled, it's a -3.
Someone think about it for a second, oh damn pronunciation. I'm like, no, never mind. I'm gonna take it. I got this.
Can we co-op read it?
You can give him a dice and assist.
Yeah. Well,
Mouth no.
you see.
Like, sound out your 8.
Yeah,
This
you-
is silent. Ah,
Mhm.
sound.
Nick2.
Fuck me. Okay, let's go for it.
And you notice she has a knife in her hand.
Oh shit. All right. I don't think I have any willpower left.
Yeah, she basically takes the knife and drags it across her palm and lets the blood drip onto the book. And she looks at Ian and she's like, "No matter what you see or what happens, don't stop reading that page until I tell you."
Understood.
And so she nods for you to start speaking. You can roleplay it as you want.
Intelligence and occult.
Mm-hmm.
See how shitty I do first before I. Oh, baby!
Nice.
And so he takes a deep breath. And whenever she gets a nod to go ahead and start doing it, I'll go ahead and. Asvana, Niktu Asan, Kirak Neman, Esios, Cobre, Estinon. It's just reading a bunch of nonsense.
As you do that, you notice that the sheriff has his gun in his hand and points it towards Miranda's head. So I'm going to let you, whoever, now Ian can stop with his incantation, but I'm going to do like Jacob can do a wits resolve to basically, or not wits resolve, I'm sorry, wits, let's do, this is always a hard one. We'll do resolve composure to basically figure out what's going
Wits
on.
composure? Or what'd you say?
Wits composure.
Wits composure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Please don't fail this. Because
If you have willpower, you can.
Don't you have to use composure first? Because if you don't, yeah.
I think there's one that doesn't. Yeah.
It's that one. It's composure. So composure wits.
Fuck's sake. I have no mouth and I must scream.
Or you can just add them up and roll them manually.
I can't stop reading.
Yeah, I already clicked it. It's just not posting.
It's all on you, man.
Just do it manually. Oh, there you go.
God.
2.
Oh.
So you realize that the sheriff's about to shoot Miranda. What do you do?
Immediately blows his brains out with the rifle.
Would you have the rifle in your hand? You think?
Wait, am I reading the book too, though?
No, you're just standing next to him, but you're not reading it aloud.
And actually, I wouldn't have had my rifle, so he's just going to tackle the sheriff.
Yep, brawling.
Oh fuck!
Brawling, strength.
You can do it.
Versus one defense.
You can do it, kid.
I ignored the defense, I believe.
You can do it, kid.
Is this technically an attack?
Yeah, it's attack.
Do I ignore his defense for this because of killer instinct? Because it says for melee as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you said strength and
Brawling.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do it, kid.
If you have willpower, you can use it.
Yep.
Oh.
Miss.
Oh no.
So
roll 66. Roll 10s.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
roll
roll
10s. Oh yeah.
I'm an idiot.
No, you're good.
You can do it, kid.
They're even green, and I didn't even.
Oh shit! Come on, kid.
Got it.
Oh.
One success.
Oh,
So
shit.
as he's shooting, you kind of tackle him, and he like it lurches backwards and shoots, and it just like grazes the top of her head as he kind of like stumbles back, and the blood just starts falling on the pages, and you just see like this bright light surround Miranda, and you kind of like tackle the sheriff to the ground. What do you do?
Yeah, he tackles him to the ground, and probably like as he tackles him, his right hand is on the sheriff's gun hand, and his head, his forehead's like just driven into the side of the sheriff's face as they slam into the ground. He's just trying to hold him down, pin.
Yeah, you're just like wrestling for the gun, and it's like I can't let you close it. I can't let you close it. Ah! And he's just like screaming, and Ian's just What is Ian's response to this as he's...
She said, "Don't stop reading no matter what you see. I saw the sheriff try to kill her. I saw Jacob take down the sheriff. I'm not going to stop reading."
Yeah. And so the blood just is covering the book now, and she's like got her eyes closed and the lights engulfing her, and you see like these white wings sprout out of her back like suddenly, and a gold halo kind of come over her, the crown of her head, and she like floats into the air, and her white dress is like billowing all around. And then all of a sudden the house is just shaking with this giant tremor, and you all see basically this above her head, this opening, this black opening, and you hear this basically a cackle, just a, the crying that you'd all experienced before. And you see like this doll look out from outside the cave, and the mouth like opens, and it's got oversized teeth, and it says, "Close it, ease my pain." And the porcelain face of the doll shatters, and the shards of the porcelain kind of like form this wall and immediately go over front of the opening, and the voices and the laughter fades, and the sheriff basically underneath Jacob simply disappears. It's like his clothes are still there, but like, and Jacob kind of like falls into the ground, and Miranda like kind of swivels around, and like her wings like go back into her body, and the golden halo disappears as she like lowers back onto the middle of the pentagram, and she reaches down and grabs the book and flings it into the fire, and then there's a giant whoosh of flames and smoke up through the chimney and outside, like a volcano erupting, and Ian sees her look towards her, and or looks towards him and kind of waves him off from chanting now. So what's your response to all that?
And just snap the book shut. And just look at her and nod. "Solid work, Miranda."
Jacob steps from the sheriff's clothes and also grabbing the gun, just in case, and like runs to Miranda, but like kind of like holds out a hand, offering her some assistance, because I assume she looks pretty weak on the ground.
Yeah, she's like knelt on the ground, basically on one knee.
Yeah, he offers like his shoulder and stuff for her to put her arm around and be able to walk.
Yeah, she like pulls herself up and embraces Jacob with a hug and says, "I'm sorry about all this. I did not mean to bring it to everyone. It's my fault."
It's all right. I think this was, well, provided it's over, quite the interesting experience. And he looks at Ian, but I don't know if he's okay.
And she walks over to Ian, slowly puts her hands on her shoulder and looks into his eyes and frowns and says, "You will never be the same. None of you will ever be the same. Not really."
Doesn't matter. We made a difference. All the difference. Sorry I doubted you for a minute, Miranda.
I doubt myself daily. Do not worry. I lied to you, so why would you not doubt me?
Jacob just nods. Yep.
And she looks at Jacob and says, I'll be leaving now. Your uncle will be back soon. I'm glad he wasn't here for this. Tell him
What should I... Oh, yep.
I've gone to convalesce. He would know what I mean.
As she's leaving, you stay safe, Miranda. Get your ass back here. You're done convalescing or whatever the hell it is.
She kind of like pulls a high-necked, high-collared coat on and kind of pulls it around her and pulls her gloves on, these leather gloves, and steps forward and she says, try to keep to yourself for a while. I don't know how this will change anything, but hopefully it's garnered some safety for you for a while, at the very least. Your uncle will help you through these next few weeks.
So, Jacob Nodson says, or when did she say he'd be back?
Soon, she said.
Right. So he says, I think I'm just gonna stay here. Looks at Ian. You want to just stay here as well?
I mean, I ain't got nowhere to fucking be. What you got in the fridge?
And she smiles and she's like, some things never change. Stay here. Rest. Wait for John to come back. And she walks towards the door and she turns around and she looks at Jacob and she's like, one day you'll have to decide if you want to inherit this life or if you want to return as best you can to a life of innocence. She looks at both of you and she turns around and she says, I could give that to you. Not now. Not in my current state. I can make you forget things.
Hell no.
I will need to research this though, so tell me now what is you will wish upon my return.
Jacob shakes his head.
Eyes wide open, Miranda. We're in for it now. Fuck it.
Deep breath and says, very well. Goodbye. And she walks towards her car.
As she leaves,
You're good. Go
go ahead. As she leaves, Jacob turns to Ian and says, when's the last time you slept without having a nightmare?
Oh, I'm sorry, you cut out, man. What'd you say?
He said, when's the last time you slept without having a nightmare?
I don't know, but I'm thinking tonight's gonna break that streak. At least I hope so.
He nods and says, his bed, and then, he books it.
Did you say something swampy cut out there at the end?
Oh yeah, I don't know why I'm cutting out. He said dibs on Miranda's bed, and
I shake my head and dibs on the fridge, kid. And look at Victoria. So what's your plans? What are you doing after all this, then?
And she looks to you and says, looks like I found new friends and a new home.
No reason eyebrows. I don't remember saying we were friends, but I will get you a beer. Start heading towards the fridge.
Says,
Just
a beer then. Yeah, she kind of follows you up there. And Miranda,
Jacob,
yeah, go ahead.
he gets upstairs. I'm just curious. He kind of like whispers to himself, like, "You still there, Miss Lady?"
And
Because
there's
he doesn't.
yeah, go ahead.
He doesn't. I know she said that's the last she could help us, but I don't remember her ever like making a grand exit or anything, you know. So I'm just genuinely curious. He is.
You don't. There's no response.
He just nods and probably falls asleep quick.
Yeah. Miranda heads to her car, opens the door, looks back at her house, gets inside without a word, and drives away. The next few days pass uneventfully. You sleep the best you have in months. The nightmares that you experienced from your first visit into the cave are gone. You are weary, and Ian has flashbacks more during the day than at night, and is troubled. But all in all, much better. John returns and keeps you all safe, and then supplies you with enough money for you to quit your jobs and stay there if you wish it. A week later, a letter comes to the house, unmarked, except says, "To Ian and Jacob." And Victoria brings it to you both one random Tuesday morning.
Jacob snatches it and looks at it, sees the odd nature of it, and like with them both looking at it, just opens it.
And Ian's day drinking and puts his beer down, takes a look at it.
Yeah, it reads, "You forgot about me. You left me to die. You left me to rot. I'll never forget that. I'm coming for you." And at the bottom it says it's Barb.
I asked about her.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
nobody-
Never
That's
said
good.
anything.
enough to actually pursue it.
And
I love it.
and the screen fades, and that is the end of Hunter the Vigil.